Hello, everyone, and welcome to Birthing My Being. This is another episode of GTV. I got my little cup of tea right here, and I am just ready to be with you, to sit in a space with you that will connect you back to presence, that will remind you of who you truly are, and that will inspire you to live in a way that is more harmonious to the desires of your heart. Today, I want to invite you into a conversation that I am hearing a lot of just from people around me, some feels and sifting through that has been deep on my own heart, and what I believe is really something that we all go through and experience as human beings here on this planet. And that is the feeling of being stuck or desiring change and not knowing when something is going to shift, not knowing how something will change in your world. And I want you to feel into and think of something in your life that you are really deeply desiring right now. And that can be a change for you personally, just with health, with your vitality, with your career, with your work, with your relationships, with moving, with simply having a feeling of being more here, being more of yourself, being more connected. This time is always designed for you to reconnect, for you to receive, for you to fill up with more truth, with more love, with more light, so you can flow out into your world with a deeper remembrance and connection to yourself and everything around you. And so today, as we talk about this feeling of being blocked or stuck, or like something isn't happening in your life that you really want, and it's inviting you into feelings, it's inviting you into an experience of deep faith, of deep trust, of deep perseverance and patience. And in that in between, we feel the waves of uncertainty. We feel the waves of wondering if there's something that we're not doing that is blocking us from getting what it is that we desire, from getting where we want to be in life. And this process of putting all of this pressure and this blame and this responsibility on ourselves to make it all happen, to create that change, to manifest that new life, to birth that new dream into possibility. When we are living in this narrative that is rooted in, I am the sole creator of whatever is happening in my experience, we inherently disconnect and forget about everything that is surrounding you right now in this moment. And I mean everything. I mean the voice and the sound that you are picking up just even in this video. I mean, whatever you are looking at outside of your own eyeballs right now, like literally, what are you looking at? Is it the sky? Are you driving? Is it a friend? Is it this YouTube video? What are you picking up? What are you receiving? What are you hearing? What are you feeling? What are you sensing right now in this moment? And I invite you into this exploration because I want you to remember and I want to remind you that you are connected to this life, that you belong to this life, that you are not isolated and living in a bubble where your ideas, thoughts, inspirations, hearts, dreams, desires solely exist inside your body and nowhere else outside of the world. Everything in life has the potential to reflect back to us our deepest belonging, our deepest part of who we are. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is the very fact that you are able to listen to this right now, that you are able to hear my voice, to see an image of something outside of yourself. This is a reminder that you live in connection to life. And there is a power in this remembrance of presence. There is a power that comes when we remember that we are not isolated, that we are not alone. And the reason I want to invite you into this remembrance of presence is because when we do this, when we simply become aware that there is a world outside of us, that opens us up to the remembrance of possibility. It opens us up to the remembrance of potential, to the remembrance that life is constantly evolving and changing and moving and breathing, that in our bodies there is blood flow, there is breath flow, there are brain waves, there is light continuously circulating throughout our system. And this is all happening all the time. And we are a part of this. We are a part of life. And when we remember this, when we remember our deep connection to ourselves, to life, to presence, to God, to universe, to spirit, to whatever word really taps you into something bigger than your own being, something bigger than your own worries, your own fears, your own insecurities, we inherently open ourselves up to greater possibility, because it's no longer just me and what I'm doing and what I'm thinking and what I'm not doing and what I'm not saying and what I'm not thinking about. It becomes this relationship that opens, and that's where possibility flows. And so with that, I just invite you to begin to take deeper notice of what is around you. What are you surrounded by today? Can you allow this acknowledgement of what's before you, of what's around you, of what you're sensing, what you're feeling, what you're listening to, what you're seeing? Can you allow this experience to be a reflection of your connection to everything that is in your world, to life itself? And this is the power. This is where the power lives. Why is this where the power lives? This is where the power lives, because once we do that and we're seeing what's here, we're receiving what's here, we're acknowledging what's here, it allows our brain, it allows our mind to just open to, oh my gosh, there's so much here for me. There's so much available for me. There's so much around me. There's so much beauty here for me. How could I have forgotten? How did I forget that I have this home, that I have this person in my life, that I have this tree outside my window, that I have this job, that even if it's not the highest possibility for me right now, even if these things are not what I desire any longer, they're still here for me. I am so deeply held. I am so deeply supported through this light. There is still something here for me. And this is where the power lies. This is where the power lives. In this acknowledgement, in this appreciation, in this presence. And so with that portal that opens up when we begin to see, to feel, to sense everything that's around us, and allow this to be direct evidence that life is here with me, for me at all times. And that's not changing. That doesn't change even if I don't have what I want yet. That doesn't change even if I think I haven't hacked the manifestation code for my whole world and my dreams aren't here yet and I must be messing something up, because if I would just get it right, it would already be here by now. That doesn't need to be a script that lives inside of us. It doesn't need to be a storyline that we entertain any longer. We can welcome in this remembrance of power and presence and allow that to lead us, allow that to guide us. And then we open up to the fact that we do have so much power. We do have so much creative power that is alive and here right now. Like whether you're laying in bed listening to this, or you're driving a car, or you're on a walk, or you're sitting at your desk and you're kind of like, where is this going? How did I even get to this video today? What is happening in my world? What do I want? Am I aware of this presence? And you're doing all these things, right? I want you to really feel that You have power right now to get up, to go walk outside. You have power right now to go grab something to eat. You have power to call a friend that you haven't talked to. You have power to write a poem, to pick up your life, and you can move out of the country if you so deeply desired to. And before you say, no, I can't do this because I can't do that, because I don't have this, because I don't have that set up, because it's not possible for me, my life isn't that easily to be malleable, I want you to just feel what that feels like when I say that. Oh, I can do this. I can, shift my experience. I can create something completely different and unique right before my eyes, right here, right now. That is creativity. That is where power lives. That is where presence lives. And so I really just encourage you to feel into that. If you're struggling with your work, if you're struggling with where you're living and you're like, this no longer feels good to me, how am I ever going to change this? How am I ever going to get to a different destination? And before you even go backwards and look at all the things that brought you here and all the ways in which you ended up here, I want you to just acknowledge where you are and acknowledge what is here right now. I'm going to have a little sip of my tea. You know what my little tea tag said today? It said, uncage your heart, free your heart, let it be wild. How beautiful. And so I really want you to just entertain that idea of what is one thing right now that I could do in my present moment that would shift my experience and connect me deeper to the remembrance that life is evolving, that life is changing. How can I step into that role, that moment of I am a creator, I am having this unique experience in my life? Is it coloring a picture? Is it doing 10 jumping jacks? Is it making something delicious to eat? Is it saying hi to someone when you're on a walk and it was kind of different and you're like, I never do that? It's simply that feeling of doing something different, switching up the energy, because there's so much possibility available for you here right now. And this is something we can come back to amidst the journey of the in-between, amidst the journey of the opening and the closing and the opening and the closing. Life is not just happening when we get something big that shows up in our life, right? Like life is not just happening when we finally meet our soulmate or we finally land our dream job and it feels amazing and it's like this beautiful birth and representation of all this energy that's been culminating. And that's exactly why it does not negate the fact that all of those in-between steps, all of that in-between energy has always been there and is always there. And this is simply another element of that. This is the in-between. This is the void. This is the unknown. And with that, just in case there is that part of you that is saying, okay, but how does that get me closer to what I want? Or how does that take me closer to where I want to be? My response to you is, why don't you actually try this? Why don't you actually feel this? And why don't you actually go put this into practice, into action, and see how it feels and see what shows up, and let me know how that journey goes for you. And I'm excited to connect with you again very soon. And blessings and love to you on your journey of in between. And you are not stuck, you are not broken, and you are not alone. And I'm sending you all the love and excitement, because I'm truly excited for you to feel this, because once you do, something will open and you will remember more of you and you will remember more of life.